Hello, my loves, and welcome to the Finding Your Purpose workshop. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say to you is probably going to shock you, but what else is new, right? If you've been here before, you're used to that. What I want to say to you, first of all, is stop trying to find your purpose in a work sense. That comes later. Now, that's probably going to feel disappointing for a lot of you who are like, I want to make money from my purpose. And that can happen and will happen. But first, you have to work out what it is. And I see so many people, and myself included, have gone down this path of like, I need to work in my purpose, and this isn't my purpose anymore. So I need to find it. And then we kind of throw what we're currently doing in the bin and we put all the pressure on finding. Why is there always a fly that comes in when I do a workshop? It is a sticky rainy day, which is why I've tilted to get some more window light in, but there's always just one. Maybe there's a fly spirit hanging around. Um, I don't smell, I promise. Anyway, my loves. So what can happen is we focus so much on being able to live and make a living in our purpose that we kind of curb it and we make it profitable and we dull the edges of it, if that makes sense. Now, as you know, if you've ever been coached by me, I will always share with you that you can definitely make money from your purpose. But first, you have to clarify it, okay? You have to clarify it. And where people go wrong, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by Mr. Fly, is that when you focus on putting so much purpose in your current work or moving to a job of purpose or a role or a business of purpose, is you start to go, how do I make money? How do I make money? How do I make money? And so what happens is you can kind of leapfrog into one thing and then kind of like get really frustrated with yourself because you've shaped the edges to make it profitable and it's not your true purpose. And again, once we sit in true purpose, we do shape the edges and we do make it profitable. But I guess it's a dulling down, it's a latching onto a certain part, and then it's realizing, oh, this kind of isn't it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know who I am and all of that. I also want to say to you that your purpose can evolve over your lifetime. Okay. So again, you could be living in your purpose, you could be thriving, and then all of a sudden it shifts and it doesn't align anymore because you've changed, because you're here to change, right? So then it's like, okay, shit, what do I do from here? Where do I go from here? I don't trust myself anymore. I thought I had my purpose. I don't know what my purpose is. And now, who am I? Who am I? I don't even know who I am. And this is an essential part of life as a spiritual being. You will go through stages and phases where you evolve so deeply that you're like, I don't even fucking know who I am anymore. I don't even know what's important to me anymore. Cool. Don't attach yourself to that. Just go, okay, I'm going through another shift. I'm learning again. I don't know what's next for me. And that's okay. And I've had this discussion with some of you who've been in my coaching spaces, but I remember when my studio closed down. So when I got the notice that my studio was going to be demolished and they were building high-rise apartments and yada, yada, yada. And it was such a gut punch for me. Like it was such a gut punch. But I look back and I see exactly why that needed to happen. I needed to be home. Sebby got unwell and I needed to be home, right? I didn't need something else to manage. But it was such a gut punch. And I remember I was on the phone to my brother a couple of weeks after, maybe, I don't know how long after it was, whatever, getting carried away by the details like I do. And he said to me, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for work? And I literally said, I don't know. I actually don't know. And it was such a healing conversation because I had no ego. I had no shame around not knowing what my next steps were because my pattern is to just jump into something and that be my next step. And so the fact that I didn't have a next step was very foreign to me. But I was just like, I don't know. I'm just going to see what happens. And I ended up taking a bit of a gap time. I didn't want to jump onto something and have it be that, right? So I ended up doing like some UGC, so user generated content for socials, like did some underwear ads and things like that, like really just expanded my horizons in that way. And I've come back to where I want to be, where I need to be purpose wise. So what I'm saying to you is don't feel like you can't have spaces of not knowing. Like you don't need to be disempowered by not knowing, is what I want to say to you. It's actually a beautiful, curious space where things will start to evolve for you. So don't be ashamed of not knowing, is what I really want to drive home, if that makes sense, because the blank space is where the magic happens. So what I want to say to you, first of all, is moving your purpose away from your work, right? Understanding, okay, fuck, like I hate my job. right? I hate my job. There's nothing about it that makes me happy. I need to find what's next to me. I'd like to live in purpose. Like, why are we here? We're here for a bigger reason, yada, yada, yada. I get it. I've been there. I totally understand. What I want to say to you is list those things about your current business, your current offerings, your current workplace or role, whatever it is that works for you. Write down the things about it that you love. This fly is pissing me off. Its purpose is to piss me off. um, what are the things that you love about your current role, right? So you could be working at a prison and you could hate it, right? But maybe you love the fact that you get to work in a unit with the same people, work colleagues, each time that you turn up, and that becomes a family. Maybe you like the closeness of that. Maybe you work at the local milk bar and you like speaking with the locals every day, that sense of community. You like helping them with things. You like promoting their events and putting up their posters. These are clues to purpose. These are clues to what you enjoy, what you're good at, right? So we focus a lot on, I fucking hate that. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. They are clues to what you are good at. Another example, anyone that works with me knows that personal stories are my way to weave through the spiritual woo and practical advice that comes through. So for me, something that I have been qualified in and worked a business in for the longest time was being a marriage celebrant. And it's not something that I particularly love to do now. There's elements of it that I love. So when I sit with, okay, what do I love? Like, I love being on stage and speaking into the microphone, being the center of attention. I have a Leo, is it MC in Leo? My MC is in Leo, right? I love being in control of the chaos, leading the day, helping everyone around me feel safe and comfortable. I love the ceremony. Like, I love learning about my couples. I love, helping weave their guests into the ceremony. I love the love aspect of it. What do I hate about it? The legalities, the paperwork, the triple checking of spelling, all of that is not my forte. All of that is not my magic, and that's okay. So when I look at, okay, this is great. Like, this has been great for me. And then I've evolved past it. I don't love sticking to a script. I do stick to a script because I think it's really important that my couples know what's coming for their ceremony. But I much prefer to, I don't like putting on a suit anymore. I much prefer to be standing on stage barefoot with a microphone in my hand. That's my magic, is when I just bring it through and share it. Yeah. So again, 10 years ago, this was my dream job, being a marriage celebrant. Every part of it was great, although I was always terrible at the admin side, right? So when we look at these clues, oh, this job that I did I love it? This role that I had, this business that I run, what parts did I like? What parts didn't I like, right? And I think Gary Vee says about which shit sandwich are you going to eat, right? There's always going to be parts to what you do that you don't like, right? That's okay. That's okay. But what we're doing here is we're getting the clues to where our magic lies. So that role that you did and you liked, what did you like about it? What did you not like about it? The role that you're so frustrated with right now, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? Can you tell me, and I want you to write these down. So if you have to pause and write things down, please do. I think it's really, really important. So again, myself and my discovery of this is I like to speak. I like to use my voice as a medium to channel inspiration from spirit and my heart and my room and my soul to kind of push that love out to you. And my voice is my instrument through my podcast, through speaking in front of audiences, through these workshops. My voice is my medium to promote this with you. And there's clues of that. Yeah. There's another, I worked in a call center, fucking hated it. So I have I saw something the other day that was like ADHD, applying for a job and looking at their resume, and it was like all these different people being like, I did this and I did this and I did this, because there's no shame in that. There's no shame in finding who you are. And, if you're a manager like me, if you don't know about human design, shoot me a DM and I can send you some links to have a look at. But just Google it, have a look. Manigens, essentially, we do what lights us up and we move on quite quickly. So that Manigen layered aspect has added lots of different bows. Is it arrows? Whatever. Lots of different tools to my toolkit, we're going to call it, right? So many tools to my toolkit. And so, working at this call center was fucking horrific. It was a government call center. I had been done lots of things before then, but the role before then was employment consulting, which I loved. I loved motivating people, teaching them how to get a job, making them believe in themselves, helping them work out. Isn't this funny? Isn't this funny, right? I wasn't woo-woo. I wasn't tapped in. Again, it was a government agency. Um, was tapped in to helping people find out what job they wanted to get. And from there, like it was, you could get burnt out quite well because you were working with people who had been long-term unemployed for a really long time, right? Long-term unemployed. Anyway, I got married and we decided we were going to have a baby, not too long after that. And so I went and I worked at a government call center because they had like, I think it was like 12 weeks maybe paid maternity leave, which no one else had. And so I was like, fuck yeah, like this is a great kind of financial opportunity. And I also just wanted to take my foot off the gas with that one-on-one connection. So I thought, call center, awesome. Terrible. Loved working with people, loved having fun with the people that I worked with, loved playing silly games with the customers on the phone. But again, using my voice, using my voice as my medium to share, to communicate, to help people, right? So again, we look back and there's clues and there's clues and there's clues and there's clues. My first ever job out of school was well, I had a traineeship in customer service and like retail at a bakery. That was my first ever. But moving on from that, like I went into real estate and real estate sales. And I think, why did I do that? But I look at that and go, oh no, like the challenge, the entrepreneurship, the sales, all of that, the communication, the bringing people together. So we look back at our career history. It just landed on the screen. You're pissing me off. Don't make me get the fly spray. I've also got a diffuser. I wonder if that will help. I don't like to use chemicals, given the history of everything that we've been through. There's definitely a fly spirit happening here. Let me just sip my cacao. Little asshole, really pushing. I was doing so well to not get distracted, but you pushed me, mate. Okay. So coming back to that, looking back at your career history, voluntary history, activity history, what did you love and what were you good at? And what did people recognize within you, right? What did they recognize within you? And so again, if you've got lots of different things on your list, on your CV, on your business history, cool. Awesome. You've probably got more skills to choose from. Now, what I also want to say to you is to find your purpose or to know your purpose, you have to taste it. You have to taste it. I know, and I've done offerings in the past where I've tapped into people's purpose. I've pulled that information down from the Akashic records and it's been so beautiful. And I've witnessed some people go on to live that purpose. Others were like, this is so great to imagine, but I don't know how to step into it. And they haven't been ready to take some steps into it. They haven't tasted it. It's like me channeling and saying, your favorite food is this pasta that you're going to taste in Italy that is spicy and like full of like, ugh, just so delicious. Sounds good. You got to taste it to know that that's your favorite food, right? So to be in your purpose, to know your purpose, you have to taste it. It doesn't come from someone channeling it for you. That can point you in the right direction, but you have to taste it, okay? And when we look back at your experiences in life that you have really enjoyed, or those moments of connection that you've really enjoyed, or whatever it is, they are the little tasty bits of your purpose, okay? They are the little things that are like, okay, this is what I'm really good at. Again, and I've spoken about this a lot in coaching, is when I did work in real estate, it's very big, like personal development is obviously huge in real estate, but it's more like salesy stuff. And I remember these workshops that were like, what are you good at? Awesome. What are you terrible at? And there was so much like focusing on what you're shit at and improving what you're shit at, which is good to a point. And self-awareness and knowing yourself and self-improvement is so important in all aspects of life. But what I realized now as an entrepreneur, as a business owner for 15 years, is that you don't have to get good at the things that you're not good at. You can get someone else in who is, or you can find a system, a cheat code that means that you don't actually have to be good at those things. For example, running a big events company, we were doing 700 plus events a year. There's always a room for error. There's always a room for error when you're manually entering in information. So for instance, we would have, and I'm big on sharing mistakes as well, because otherwise we make a mistake on our own, we sit in shame and we're like, ugh. But when we share our mistakes, I remember Janelle said she made a mistake and this is how she learned from it, right? I'm always going to be open about mistakes. Sending an employee to the wrong event on the wrong day, right? Because the person's booked in through email conversation and I've transferred it over and I've got kids and they're little and all this stuff going on and made mistakes. So Dan and I, my husband and I, are really good at Dan more so, creating systems so that errors don't occur, right? Because I fucking understand that my magic is not in admin. It's not in details, right? It really isn't. And so sticking to that system, we ended up creating a system where people would book online and that booking would come straight through to our diary. We would accept it or decline it. And then we had an online system management software where we could just send that directly to our staff members. So if anyone fucked up, it was the client. We weren't liable. But then we also had order emails that went out multiple times in the lead up saying, hey, this is your job. This is when the person's going to arrive. This is the address. Can you please confirm? So there was multiple times to confirm because I'm not good at admin, okay? And I don't care. So I could have spent a lot of time enhancing my admin skills, getting better, trying to train myself to be something that I'm not naturally, or I can witness that isn't my forte. Let's minimize the time that I have to do that. Let's minimize my capability or my opportunities of making mistakes in that area. And let me focus on sales because that's something I'm really good at. So, we can always, that kind of bro, I call it bro self-development because it was very like, you know, what are you shit at? Get better. And it's like, what are you fucking great at? Let's magnify that so the other shit doesn't actually matter because otherwise it's like the fish climbing the tree. They're not good at it. They're never fucking going to be. They're not here to do that. I'm not here to spell check my emails. I'm not here to be perfectly grammatically correct. I'm not here to deliver perfect workshops where I'm going to edit out the flyer that lands on the screen. I'm here to be real. I'm here to be authentic. So when we look back at our past, we can see the clues. What are we good at? What are we not good at? And I want you to write that down today. But I don't want you to focus on the things that you're not good at. I want you to just kind of have them there so you can become available to knowing what they are. Okay, cool. Not good at this. That's cool. But these are the things that I'm really good at. How can I eliminate the things that I'm not, right? In your current job, you might be like, I love this aspect, I love this aspect. And there'll be some parts that you do, and it might not even be related to the role that you do. That you might just be so fucking over that. But it might be the hours, it might be the delivery people, it might be the systems, it might be whatever. Write down the things that you like, the things that you enjoy. That's some hints, some tips, and some clues. So this workshop is about noticing those hints and those clues that are pointing you in certain directions. Okay, work life aside, so let's push that aside for a moment. What are you doing as a hobby? What do you like to do? And I know there's going to be many people watching this and be like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I just go to work, raise my family. I don't know what I like to do. Or they'll say, I like going to the gym. Cool. Do you actually? Or do you just go because you like, what it does for your health? So what do you actually want to try? What lights you up? And I know that you might not know, and that's okay. What are you curious about? What do you witness on social media that you see other people doing and you think, that looks fun? I might try that one day. Our desires and our curiosities are leading us to where we need to be. They are not random. They are not something that is distracting us from our purpose. They are clues and hints towards finding our purpose. So, for instance, the other day, pre this hospital admission for Sebi, I went and did a heels class. Curiosity, it was just like, fuck it, let's go. That sounds fun. Cannot wait to get back. Couldn't for those couple of weeks that we're in hospital, and then realized I've got clients tomorrow night when it's on. So I'm going to be changing my schedule so I can go. Not tomorrow, I'll honor those clients, but moving forward when I have availabilities, because what I found, even though it was just curious, bit of fun, it was really about women's empowerment, which is so me. It was about the different ways in which that can happen. It was about, utilizing that connection with our body and being seen and supporting other women. That really brought that to the forefront, even though it was just a hobby that I paid $20 for to go to a dance class, bit of fun, bit of exercise, bit of movement. Do you see what I'm saying here with our curiosities? Oh yeah, I've always wanted to try it. That looks fun. I'm going to go. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go embody it, right? Because so many people are wanting to find their purpose and go live it and make money from it. And we need money to live. There is nothing wrong with making money. But you don't have to chuck in your whole job, your whole business, everything that's working to go and find your purpose. You can find, maybe my purpose is killing flies. You can find your purpose while still doing what you're currently doing. You don't have to throw it in the bin. You can have those moments in your current business where you're like, fuck, I love this, more of this, please. more of this place, like more of this moment, And for me, like those shallow psychic readings, that was something that was really grinding my gears because I was like, I want to go deeper. I'm so sick of this. I'm not helping people properly. But then I would jump on and do a reading that was really deep and the person was really open. I'd be like, fuck yes, more of this, please. So I could see where my purpose was weaving through with that. And over the past 18 months, I guess, I have kind of gone like this. This is what's cool about video instead of podcast is I can show you with my hands. I've kind of gone like this when it comes to my psychic abilities and my offerings with my psychic abilities because I kind of have gone, this is not what I want. This is not in my purpose. And then I'm like, no, of course it is. I'm so naturally good at it that of course it's in my purpose, but I just get to choose and I need to be very intentional about where I'm applying those powers, those gifts, if that makes sense as well, because it's up to us. We are the ones who get to choose, which is really important. So what I want to say to you is your next step, your next assignment is what are the things that I'm curious to try? Where are the places that I'm curious to visit? What are the hobbies that I want to like give it a go? Is it pottery? Is it a heels class? Is it learning how to get strong? Like what are the things that you want to try because they are going to lead you to that point. The other thing that I want to say is embodiment is everything. So if you're saying I want to empower women to feel a certain way, what are you doing to go and feel that way yourself, right? And this is where us women, I was like, do I include men in this? But I'm speaking to women mainly. If you're a man, just take it as I said. Us women, we can get really focused on our success. We can get really focused on proving that what we're doing is worthwhile. We don't need to do that, okay? So what I want to say is just lean into the things for the love of it. Go and embody. And so we come away from embodiment every time we try and prove that what we're doing is worthwhile. See what I mean? So for me, going to a heels class, I could sit in there and be like, oh, well, it's exercise. It's something different. It's equivalent to a run. Or I could just be like, feels good. Felt curious, feels good in my body. Why am I justifying it? It's only $20. No, it feels good. I want to do it. I'm doing it. That feel edgy? So we don't have to justify things, okay? So you can keep living your life that you're living right now and you can weave your purpose along the outside of that. And soon enough, you're going to find a way to make them meet. You can weave your purpose into what you're currently doing. But first, you need to get really clear on where your magic lies, okay? Where your magic lies. We are so fucking great. If I said to you, what are you great at? You'd probably be like, but if I said to you, what do you suck at? I reckon you'd be able to tell me. What are you great at? What do you deeply enjoy? Even if it feels cringe to say, I just told you I love being the center of attention. That's cringe to say, but it's true. I witnessed that in myself. It's in my star sign. I thrive when I'm commanding the room. It's that simple. That's part of my magic. Now, there's a fine line between what are you naturally really great at and what do you have to try. Patience is not my forte. I like to do things fast. You can see that on my face when this fly is pissing me off. It might not feel safe, right? So I remember the first time I spoke publicly, I was shitting my pants. It didn't feel safe, but it felt exciting. Yeah. If I was public speaking and I sucked and I sucked and I sucked and I sucked, I would hope that I would honor that that's not my magic. I was sacked as a receptionist because I fucking forgot to pass the notes on because there was errors in my admin because admin and details checking is not my forte. Customers, and it was like a prolonged sacking because the customers loved me. The people working there loved me. I wasn't suited to the job. I was like 18. It wasn't yesterday. But I honor that that is not my magic, right? My magic is a better suited role for me would have been customer service, client liaison, without that boring like administration shit on the side. So what we're curious to do, what feels good for us, it might not feel natural, is what I'm trying to say. It might not feel natural. It certainly didn't feel natural because there was fears and elements of being seen and stuffing up and all of that kind of stuff that came with speaking publicly. Whenever we stretch, we feel uncomfortable. It feels edgy, right? But if it feels exciting, fucking go for it. So what I'm trying to share with you when it comes to tapping into your purpose is you're not going to come away from this at the end of today with like, I know what my purpose is and I'm ready to make money from it. But you're going to come away from this with some clues as to what makes you feel most you. Yeah. Things like I'm just looking at flowers. I bought myself some flowers yesterday. I cut them and I put them in a vase. And like I get to look at them and just be like, they're so beautiful. Is that my purpose? It's part of it. It's part of it, right? Because what part of what I do is I help women see the magic in everyday fucking life, right? You can live your purpose as a mum. You can live your purpose by raising your children in the way that you want to raise them, right? That's kind of my purpose, is shirking the rules. And again, our purpose can shift and change. Maybe it's not one thing. Wow, my nails are really dirty. Authenticity. We don't have to get stuck going, my purpose is to be a psychic medium. My purpose is to be this. We try and narrow it down. I feel like my purpose at this point in time is to empower women to live their best life, but only the life that is best for them, not the life that I think they should live, not the life that looks good on social media, the life that is good for them. Part of that is like noticing the things that make them happy. I bought these on the side of the road for $10 for myself because I was like, oh, love them. $10. Love buying things on roadside stalls. The money goes straight to the person who's grown and cut the flowers. You know, to celebrate those little fucking moments in life. That for me is living the best life. To be empowered to break the rules when it suits them, to create their own rules when it suits them. The reason that I show up so authentically is because I want you to feel safe to show up authentically as well. That heals our hearts, that heals our perception of ourselves. My purpose at this point in time is to connect women to themselves, to one another, and to drop the fucking facades so that we can actually live a proper life. That is my purpose, is teaching people to live heart-centered lives, right? It's hard to put into words. If I was like, my purpose is to take women from $0 to $10,000 a month. Linear, it's easy to understand. Fuck, boring. Boring. I don't feel anything in my body when I say that. Do you see the difference in how I'm communicating with you? So you don't have to really even be able to explain your purpose. You just have to be more tapped in, turned on by those moments in your life that feel good. Because we notice and we pluck out and we examine in every detail the shit that feels crap, like the fucking fly. But we need to be pulling out, examining, and really celebrating those things in our life that make us feel good. Yeah. And knowing that you don't have to commit to your purpose for your life, knowing that this is what feels good for me right now, that I just got full body like, thank you. What feels good for you right now? That's what you need to lean into, whether that's professionally, whether that's a hobby, whether that is in your own time, whatever. Lean the fuck into what feels good for you right now. And what's really important is we shirk the fact that we've been taught that what feels good is not necessarily what's good for us. Bullshit. We're women. We are women. What feels right is right. What feels wrong is wrong. I can promise you this. If you take only that line from this workshop, what feels right is right. What feels wrong is wrong. You don't have to go and throw everything in the bin that feels wrong. You just start to witness, no, it doesn't feel right. What would feel right? You might not know. That's okay. Witness. You don't have to race to the finish line of purpose. Your purpose comes through being a bit more peaceful, through being a bit more intentional, through noticing things a little bit more. That is where your purpose comes from. Okay. I'm going to leave it there with you, my loves. I hope this has been a helpful and activating workshop for you. Drop DM if you need to, and we can organize a one-on-one session to help you get clear on this as well. But thank you for tuning in and have a beautiful day, my loves.